I always like to show what we're going to be working on. These are the rocks that I painted, the colors I used with the acrylic pens I use, my contact information in case you have questions. And here are the rocks with just any acrylic pens that you can get on Amazon work. I use a white acrylic paint as a base coat. I picked this up at Walmart, Dollar Tree. It's like $1. This, I just clump it onto the rock. I pour it on there and then I paint it on and use a flat brush to do the edges for the detail. And once that's finished, you let it set and dry, and then you figure out your design. I'm turning the rock to see the best way that it sits, and even though this is not the way I would normally paint it, this is the way I'm going to do it because it sits better this way. Draw the moon here and then do a horizon. There it is. I've used a, sorry, it's upside down. Used a black acrylic painter brush. You just have to pump these quite often to get them to work right, and do that on a scrap piece of paper. There's, I'm just showing the colors again. So we'll start with the yellow and then go to the orange, the pink, and then the blue. The green and the two shades for the grass area. Okay, here we go. I'm doing the first color, which is the yellow. So you just do a line of it. And there it is, finished. The next color we're going to add is the orange, and you'll draw a straight line and then just do little dots right along where the line is, just to sort of blend it a bit. Then take a paintbrush and dip it into water. Do not saturate the brush with the water, just lightly. I did that a little bit here where I kept putting too much water on the brush. That was the perfect amount. Here I just added too much water, as you can see. So you just dip it on have a paper towel ready and just dab it on there and get some of that water out. I'm using my finger to sort of adjust the paint. Now onto the pink, the rose color, and I'm showing that I am taking that line and blending it with dots. This helps to do your shading to the other color. And just a few minutes here. I did speed this up even though it does look tedious. Sorry. Kind of boring, right? Dots, dot, 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 dot. So I'm going to show you that. Okay, here it is finished. Okay, and again, take the brush, dip it in a little bit of water, and blend it. And you can see where the line looks, you can see the line there. So that's where you don't want to saturate the brush too much. You'll get the hang of it. You just have to do it a few times. And I will redot probably over that line. Okay, now I'm on to the blue. This was a little harder because the colors were such an extreme difference in them. I redotted that line because I really didn't like it, the way it didn't blend too well. And don't get too picky about it. It's just supposed to be fun. Rock painting is just a nice summer activity. It's fun to do when you're camping with the kids and the grandkids. Okay, there it is finished, the horizon part, the top. And now I'll work on the bottom area with the two colors of green. I'm going to paint that whole color with the bright green, and then I'm going to do a little bit of the darker green around the bottom and do the dotting like I did with the silhouette at the top, the sunset. Okay, so there it is. Now I'm going to touch up the sun or the moon, whichever you want to do, whatever it is, and the horizon area. So we're doing that with the black acrylic pen, outlining it, and now I'm going to do the moon using a pale yellow color, blending that with the paintbrush that's been put in water, and then adding a little bit of yellow around the edge to give it some depth. Okay. There I'm dabbing that paintbrush because they get a little dried out. Here's the horizon starting, and now I have to figure out where I'm going to put the trees. So I usually just draw a few. I am left-handed, as you can tell, so I'm starting the left side. I will do the right side of the rock after I've filled this area in because I want to see how it balances out. Just do a little bit at a time. The trees are really simple. You just draw wavy lines like so. Do them in different sizes, starting from the top and the bottom, and then start filling them in. Don't overfill with color because you want the colors to show through the trees. That's sort of the whole point of the rock with the Sorry, I'm concentrating on my little twigs here. Can't talk and paint at the same time, apparently. Okay, almost got it done. All right, now I've done that one. I've worked on those. I just sort of did a basic sketch on them. I haven't filled them in yet. Dabbing that pen again. Always have paper towels and extra paper beside you to dab and wipe, and I end up with paint all over everything, including myself. Filling the tree and just showing you again how I do that to give you a better idea. I did speed the video up. I do not paint this quick. I'm getting older and cannot paint that fast. Okay, here we have it. That I've got those ones sort of figured out, and then I'm starting to kind of fill it in where I want to put the other trees. This is just eyeballing and figuring out your design. This is the fun part. Okay, now I've drawn the trees in and filled in the roots. I'm going to add those little white dots around the edge. I just sort of like that. I'm using a tool that I have, or the end of the paintbrush works. You just put some paint in a bowl. I'm using the acrylic paint again. And make sure when you're doing it that you dip evenly each time in the same spot in the paint. That makes the dots even on your rock. I just like them around the edge because I think they look like a little frame, a polka dotted frame, which makes me smile. Just a little sample. I'm also doing this with the one holding the camera in my right hand, so sorry I keep going off screen. Anyway, there it is, dotting the things. I did end up, like I said, using the end of a paintbrush. Okay, and I'll let that dry, and I put the lacquer on it, and there they are. There's a few that I've done with little polka dots on the sides. I'll be giving these as gifts and hiding them around the neighborhood for people to find. This is the binder I use, the varnish. You get it on Amazon. And that's about it. You guys have a fun day. Paint something.